Withdrawal of funding from the United States Agency for International Development has severely impacted the ability of non-profit and non-governmental organizations around the world to support their programs. This has led to program disruptions, staff retrenchments and broader socio-economic consequences for vulnerable communities. One such an organization is Staff for Life, and we're now joined by its fundraising manager, Thandiwe Mbobo, via our video link for more on this discussion. Thandiwe, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Now, it was just a couple of days ago when we saw this executive order coming in from US President Donald Trump, cutting all ties or when it comes to aid funds to countries like South Africa. And your NGO is one of those NGOs who have been impacted by that decision by the US president. Tell us how it has affected you.
I must say that thank you very much to SABC for giving us the opportunity to voice out our grievance and our pain that is happening to our communities in South Africa. We are Staff for Life and we are working with young people in rural areas. I must say that the decision of withdrawing the money, the USAID, has impacted so badly to us as an NGO. And we are struggling to actually implement our programs in schools at the moment.
And of course, you run a very important organization that really caters for young people in rural communities. And how important is the work of your organization, particularly to the people that it focuses on?
As a person who's an ex-teacher myself, being a teacher is totally different from working with an NGO and working with learners as a coach, because you are there to assist young people to focus on their dreams and to go for a better future and assisting them to live a healthy lifestyle. So it becomes a problem because we are failing now to implement our workshops. We are failing to do our one-on-one consultations with learners, because when learners are encountering problems in their private lives at home, they always know that there is a coach at school who can assist them to actually offload the problems that they have in the community, within the community. So now having USAID being withdrawn, it has actually impacted so much in South Africa, because we have lost a lot of professionals that are now sitting at home with no pay.
And how many job losses has this led to? I mean, because of this immediate impact it has had on your NGO?
We have lost 13 people, which means that each person has an average of about 8 people that are relying on them. And unfortunately, some of our employees had children that were at university. And unfortunately, this happened right at the beginning of the year. And those children that were supposed to go to university have lost their chance to actually proceed with their studies because they were relying on their parents' salary to be able to study. So now those families were the breadwinners in their homes, and now everyone is suffering because of the decision that has been made by the US president.
Yeah, really harsh realities for many NGOs across the country. At the same time, your NGO still needs to run, certain programs which it was giving to young people in your community and various other communities. And what does this all now mean for those programs, particularly, in terms of helping young people? It means that, it will now be lacking in terms of the support it was giving to young people.
Yeah. We were able to supply some medication. We're able to assist and screen young people with our mobile clinic. Now it has become so difficult for us to actually implement some of our activities that we do in schools, and it becomes a problem because medication is so expensive. The things like PrEP and PEP, things that are assisting in preventing HIV and AIDS, and also reducing teenage pregnancy, as well as the way young people need to focus on their academic work and not have a high rate of dropping out of young people and not finishing their school. So now we are really keeping our fingers crossed, because we can't implement the way we were implementing, because we had to take away some of the activities that we were offering to the schools in South Africa.
And Thandiwe, you speak about, you keeping your fingers crossed. Are you hoping, to find, donors who are willing to fund some of your programs? Have you reached out to various donors, perhaps, who would be able to assist you in that regard?
I think this is the greatest opportunity that any person can ask for, because we are calling on all the companies to come on board, because this is our program and it is assisting an African child. So if companies can come forward and assist us through their CSR, and also if individuals are willing to sponsor, it doesn't matter how much you can offer to us, we will really appreciate that. So we are calling on all South Africans to come on board and sustain this organization through the businesses that we have in South Africa.
Why is it so important to keep your doors open?
I believe that what we are doing is important, especially because we are not just in any area, but we are in areas that are highly affected by social ills, in rural areas, where it is very hard for people to go out to clinics, to go and travel to different hospitals. So when we bring our services to the people, we are able to reach them from the point of need, which is something that the government is lacking to do. So we are the right hand of the government, and we are doing what the government is failing to do. So that is why we are calling on everyone in South Africa to assist Staff for Life. And they can Google us, they can find us on the website and see the work that we do.
Has government reached out to you in some way or form to try and ensure that your NGO, Staff for Life, keeps its doors open?
So far, we're still waiting. We have written some proposals. We have sent some requests. We are still waiting for the government to come through for us. But we are happy that we're getting a greener light in some of the commodities that we can receive from our clinics, nearby clinics that are closer to our schools. So we are hoping that we will be able to get more staff. But mind you, some of the places, some of the clinics are lacking medication themselves. So it becomes a challenge.
All right, Thandiwe, thank you so much for your time and sharing your story. That is Thandiwe Mbobo. She is the fundraising manager for Staff for Life, one of those organizations who have lost out on some of their funding following that executive order by US President Donald Trump.